the Bible say that bats are birds? That sounds like a really embarrassing biological mistake if it's true, and atheists would certainly love to smirk and think that the Bible doesn't know what it's talking about. But does this objection, this alleged error, actually hold up once you look at the passage and the language? No, not even a little bit. The passage is Leviticus 11. It lists a list of clean and unclean animals, and under the list of unclean birds are several bird species and also bats. And that sounds wrong to the modern ear because we categorize bats and birds differently. But the reason we categorize them differently is because of the way we do taxonomy. Taxonomy is just the way in which you categorize animals, and we do our taxonomy largely based off of reproduction. So we do it with mammals. They give birth to live young, and they feed those young milk. And other species, such as birds or reptiles, lay eggs. They don't give birth to live young. So under our taxonomy, developed mostly in the 1760s, we say that a bat and a cow are in the same taxonomy classification, but a bird and a bat are not. See, think about it, that sounds really weird to say to someone if they haven't taken a biology class. What do you mean that bats and cows are more similar than bats and birds? That's because of the way that we classify. But the way that we classify in the modern English world isn't the same way that the ancient Hebrews classified. The word used here in Hebrew is just referring to winged creatures. Some English translation will just say winged creatures. Most use birds because it's just easier rather than the clunky winged creatures. But you can see this very clearly just a few verses later, where the exact same Hebrew word is used to refer to winged insects, which are another class as well. For the Hebrews, it was a very simple classification. Does it have wings? Okay, then we categorize it this way, rather than looking at whether they give birth to the live young, whether they lay eggs, etc., etc. The atheist objection here is essentially saying, well, we categorize things in this way, so the Bible should too. But there's no reason for that. Everyone can categorize things differently. If you wanted, you could categorize animals based on their color. The Hebrews simply use a classification based on whether it had wings or not. Do bats have wings? Do birds have wings? Yes. So they put them under the same category. The English word bird is just a useful term because most of the time when you're talking about a winged creature, you're talking about a bird. But winged creatures is the actual English translation. You can see this in some English translations. It's the way that it's used later in the passage. It's the way that it's used in Scripture. And it's not an error in any sense. It literally just means, are bats winged? Are birds winged? Yes, therefore it's correct. If you think that you found a Bible contradiction, but that Bible contradiction rests on assuming that a Bible written 4,000 years earlier doesn't use your specific system that you invented, then you're not really looking for contradiction. You're just trying to make the Bible fit your own mold. It's not an error, just a different way of describing things, and it's an entirely accurate way of describing things. Thanks for watching. God bless.